So, wondering if Weatherford, Texas is for you? Well, you've came to the right video today, because today we're going over the pros and cons of Weatherford, Texas. And stick around to the end because we have a little insight, a little nice surprise of fun things to do around Weatherford that not everyone knows about.
If this is your first time to our channel and you want to be the first to know about all things Fort Worth, Texas and beyond,
Like Weatherford,
then make sure you subscribe and tap the notification bell that you see below so you can be the first to hear about all things Fort Worth, Texas and beyond.
Hi, I'm Wendy.
And I'm Michelle.
Whether you're looking to move to Weatherford in the next 90 seconds, 90 days, or 9 months,
give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email.
heck, send us a smoke signal.
And we'll be happy to make your move to Weatherford, Texas
As smooth as possible. So let's talk about Weatherford, Texas. So Weatherford, Texas, give or take, is about 40 square miles, give or take a little on that, right, Michelle?
Yes, absolutely. And I think we have a projected growth of about 9% year over year. And with both of our businesses and buyers that we work on together, we have a lot of people that are moving here from out of state. And I think, in fact, in the last couple of years, the statistic for the North Texas area is that we have 1,400 new families that are moving to North Texas every single week. And we're certainly seeing that growth in Parker County and especially in Weatherford.
People ask, well, what's different about Weatherford? And the best way we can describe Weatherford is it has that small town charm with the modern amenities right in your backyard. So you have all the acreage out here, so you can get homes with, tons of acres if you want to be way out in the country, to homes that are historically been around for many, many years, to homes that are in new build subdivisions. So you have the best of both worlds. And then even if you have a home with a lot of acreage, it's not that far of a drive into those amenities.
Absolutely. And just on a personal front, I just showed a property yesterday, and we went, and it was a 4-acre property with a super cute house that was immaculate. It kept in very, very good condition, but the elevation of it was such, and there were trees around, and it was just like a really private, really serene area. It made you feel like you were in Colorado, but unbeknownst to you, like you could drive down the driveway, go down the street, and you would be right there where all the amenities are. So you really truly get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, you really get that isolation feel and that feeling that no one else is around while still having all the best things around you too.
So let's talk about the pros and the cons. And obviously most people want to hear the good before the bad, right?
Right.
So,
we definitely want to hear that.
Absolutely. So what is one of the biggest pros that you see?
One of the biggest pros that a lot of people have told us that has drawn them out to Weatherford is just the cost and affordability of housing out here. So you get a lot of bang for your buck because it's one of those outlining towns from the DFW area. So you'll see Dallas, and then west of that you see Fort Worth. And then you have all the surrounding towns that just kind of are the outlining areas before you go way too far out. And you can just get so much more bang for your money with those.
Absolutely. And I have people all the time that are wanting to look in different areas, people that want acreage, that don't want to be in the hustle and bustle of the city. They're looking for less traffic. And Weatherford is one of those areas I found where you can get a brand new home, like a really nice farmhouse style home, high ceilings, fireplace inside and outside, on a full acre for $400,000.
Not to mention, with that, the community atmosphere is crazy here. People have been around for generations and generations, and it's a close, tight-knit community while still having a variety of a lot of different kind of people. So it's really cool. So in Weatherford, there's also a lot of outdoor activities, right? So we were just discussing, there's the Mineral Well State Park.
About 15 minutes away.
Just west of Weatherford. There's lots of hiking, because you can go hiking there. There's parks. There's nature reserves. I mean, you have the whole gamut if you like to go kayaking. There's a lake. There's a lot of different things. So that's kind of like one of the pros, but it also kind of leads in to one of the cons, and that is limited job opportunities in Weatherford, right, Michelle?
Well, you know, with the way the market is, and since COVID, I think a lot of jobs are allowing people to be virtual. And that is one of the biggest things of people moving here to this area. A lot of them work for big companies in Fort Worth or Dallas, but they do get the virtual option, so it would not affect them as much.
And to go with that, I mean, depending on where you're situated in Weatherford, and if maybe you had to drive into Fort Worth where there are a lot of job opportunities, but it's not that far of a drive. It might be anywhere from 15 to 35 minutes, would you say?
It's really not that bad at all. And with what we do, driving all over the Metroplex, it really, like, the traffic here in town is not anywhere near what you would see in the big city. So it really is the best.
So you could say that's a pro.
Absolutely.
Right. But then that leads you into a con too, right? That leads you into maybe some limited entertainment options. But we probably could argue that both ways too, because people say, well, there's kind of limited night options if that's an entertainment option that you're looking for. But you could argue and say, well, here in Weatherford, they have open movie nights under the sky, under the stars, to live bands, to different little pubs here and there, to a lot of the community activities too.
I will say Weatherford's really, really good at hosting really good community events. There's the Peach Festival that we have every year. It's typically the second week in July. We have movie nights under the stars, like you said. We have every Monday, the weekend before the first Monday of every month, we have a first Monday where we have a lot of people with tables selling all kinds of stuff. And, you know, there's food trucks, and there's something for everyone.
So it kind of goes back to what we were saying, right? That small town feel with modern amenities. And now I guess a con would be, there's not as much as there is in Fort Worth, right? So if you go to Fort Worth, you're gonna have a lot more options, but you could argue that to be a pro because you have the best of both worlds and you're just about 20-30 minutes out from that.
I think the biggest thing for me is the lack of food options. I'm a foodie at heart, and I think you are as well.
Yes.
And there are different areas. Arlington, for instance, and we'll talk about that in another video that we're going to do soon. It's probably one of the most diverse cities in the nation. I mean, you're going to find Ethiopian food, you're going to find Thai food, you're going to find Mexican and American and Chinese everywhere you turn. The options are a lot more limited here, but you could easily find those in Fort Worth, which is just a short drive away.
And we could argue that way, right? Because I could argue that there's a lot of cool dining options here that are unique to Weatherford, like the Mesquite Pit. We'll show you pictures of that. It's really delicious. Hometown cooking, just like R&K. And then there's some other things. There's even Thai here and Mexican and all kinds of different food choices. It's just not as much as you would say in Arlington or Fort Worth.
Exactly.
Right?
And we'll give you an overview of all of those delicious spots in our other video when we do an overview of everything Weatherford, Texas.
Yes, you guys have to check that out for sure too. Now, there are a little bit on the con side. There's a bit of limited healthcare options out here too. So there's not as many hospitals. There are periodic doctor's offices, and then, you see your specialties and stuff. But if you're looking for
something more specialized, Fort Worth, again, is not that far away. We've had friends that have had, heart attacks and stuff like that, where they would have to move quickly to get to a bigger hospital in Fort Worth, but again, not that far away.
And again, wherever you're situated, it could be 20 to 30 minutes out. So Michelle, how's the weather in Weatherford? Get it?
Well, it depends on where you're coming from, how you feel about it. We have quick story, we just helped some new buyers that came in from Michigan that bought a property. 2 days after we closed and they moved in, we had a severe hailstorm. And this was actually a little west of Weatherford, but we sent them a text to ask how everything was going, and they had never seen such a thing. We had golf ball sized hail, which is kind of rare for it to be that big, but it's not rare to get hail in Texas.
Well, and the weird thing is that, I'll be 30 minutes away from her and she'll experience golf ball size hail and then there was nothing where I was at, or vice versa. So it's very sporadic. And then some years you'll see in the February range, we get freezes and weird stuff. And then for the remaining 5 years, you don't get a freeze at all. And then you have a lot of changing seasons in a quick way. So 1 minute, even from morning till afternoon, when we're changing kind of from summer to fall, and it's really cold in the morning and then you want to bring a jacket for the afternoon, or no, it's really cold and then it gets really hot. You want to take your jacket off.
Texas is one of the few areas around the nation, I think, where you could have the AC on in the morning and turn the heat on at night.
Yes,
so
yes.
Typically we get very mild winters. So we did get a good freeze 2 or 3 years ago. I have lived in this North Texas area all of my life, over 35 years, and I've never seen anything like it.
And you grew up in Arlington, right?
I grew up in Arlington.
And so if you're looking at North Texas, maybe from like Weatherford on into Arlington, that is east of Fort Worth, going towards Dallas, you're wondering, well, is the weather different from there? But across North Texas, it's pretty similar. It's just, where is that storm tracking, right?
Exactly. So, mild winters, I would expect you to, have to get used to our summers if you're from another state. Mm-hmm. The temperatures can range anywhere from 35 degrees to over 100 degrees. And we typically get 60 days or more of over 100 degree weather.
Easily over 60, I'd say.
And that takes some getting used to.
Right, because it's also, if you're used to over 100 degrees, but where it's not humid, it is different here. You do have a certain amount of humidity. Now, it's not going to be as humid as when you start to go down south to Houston and further down below. It's not that bad where, you take a shower and then you walk out, you're sweating. It's not that bad, but you will feel some humidity.
The great thing about Weatherford is there's so much land here, and a lot of our people are asking for acreage. So if we get you a house on a full acre, you definitely have room to build that pool.
Yep, a pool or a storm shelter or extra protection anyway, so that's always kind of nice. But let's move beyond the weather in Weatherford, huh, Michelle? How about the schooling? So schools in Texas, in Texas overall, the one thing I noticed when I moved here long ago was the high school stadiums. They put a lot into these stadiums, don't they?
Oh gosh, everybody loves their Weatherford Roos for sure. My son started football a couple of years ago, so Friday night lights, Thursday night lights, you'll see all the families out there cheering on their favorite Roo.
Right, they are very, very proud of their Roos. Now, if you want to know more, about the different schools, if you look on niche.com, and we can give you the other websites, but if you look on those, they're going to tell you that there's limited schooling out in Weatherford. But some people would argue that there's good schooling. So we'll give you those websites, niche.com, and what was the other one?
Greatschools.org. So currently there are 7 public elementary schools in Weatherford. Mm-hmm. There are 2 middle schools. They have what is called a 9th grade center. So both of the middle schools moved to that 9th grade center where that building it houses only 9th graders specifically. Yes. And then they all moved to the high school. So we have 1 high school here in Weatherford. There are a few private schools, so if you would like the full list of all the private schools as well in the Weatherford area, give us a call. We're happy to share that list with you.
And then there's those different schools that are in between the private and the public where they're kind of transitional, where they're doing half the time homeschooling and then half the, a couple days a week they're going into school and a couple days they're doing homeschooling. But there's different ones of those that we can give you all the lists of those and help you out with that. So all in all with Weatherford, you're gonna have that unique blend of historical charm, community engagement, outdoor activities, while still having those modern amenities. And the one thing, or the couple of things you just want to keep in mind as you're planning to potentially move to Weatherford, Texas is, check out those job opportunities. Make sure that those are there for you so you'll be able to afford that new home you're getting. But then also the healthcare amenities, if you need certain things or have certain needs, Make sure it's going to be, in the area that you're going to need it. And anything that may need to suit your lifestyle, that's what we definitely would recommend. But all in all, Weatherford's a great place that a lot of people have loved living in.
I definitely agree, and I like I tell people all the time, it comes down to personal preference. I encourage people, even if you're coming in from out of town, know nothing about the city at all, get a rental car for the day, drive around the town, go through different neighborhoods during different times of the day, and see what is most important to you. Like if you're needing a Costco within 20 minutes of you, if you're needing a certain grocery store, or it's some kind of entertainment option, make sure that it's a good fit for you and that you and your family will like the area, and that it has everything that you're looking for.
Now, last but not least, the fun stuff in Weatherford, Texas that not everyone knows about. One is a new trampoline park. I know that seems minimal, but if you have kiddos or big kids like us that like to do things like that, there's a fun trampoline park. It's right in between, like on the border of Weatherford and Hudson Oaks there. Another thing a lot of people don't know is that Weatherford has its own water park. So it's easy and nice to go to if you don't have a pool, if you don't have that acreage we were talking about. And there are a couple of local pubs. There is Antebellum Ale, and
Edgewise Brewing Company.
Yes, and they brew their own beer. Not to mention the nature preserves that we were talking about. And if you want a list of those fun things to do, reach out to us. We are happy to provide those.
We're happy to help you make a smooth move to Weatherford, Texas. Until next time, we're looking forward to seeing you around town.
Bye for now.
Bye.